Brought to you by IWC Radio.com. It's the internet's most irreverent wrestling podcast. Now, please welcome Bees, Smoot, Chucks, and Will. This is the IWC.
Hello everyone and welcome to IWC Radio. This is episode 102. Yes, we're completing our journey towards 200 now, I believe.
Yeah, we're back!
We're back. We've had a couple of weeks off. We do apologise, but yes. A few things happened, like Smoot got buried in a blizzard of snow and...
Sorta, yeah.
Yeah, and Chucks couldn't be bothered, and I'm only saying that because Chucks isn't here at the moment to defend himself.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Yes, but first off, welcome to the show, everyone. But we do need to say happy birthday to Smoot.
Oh,
yes.
See, I wanted to play Happy Birthday on the air, but I don't know if that will get flagged.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
Well, who are you going to play Happy Birthday from? Like Beyonce to get flagged?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I want to.
Yeah. I'm actually worried you're going to do it now.
Yeah.
So yes, we missed a couple of weeks. So we do apologise for that, but we are back. We are back like a Mick Foley return. So yes, how's it been going, guys? Are you having a good birthday, Smoot?
I'm old as fucking shit.
Wow.
No.
Hang on, you're as old as me.
Yeah, I'm 20.
Hang on a minute, I'm fucking older, so shut up.
Yeah, no, I'm 29, so I'm...
29.
Yeah.
A fine age.
Yeah. Still don't have a job.
Like, I always remember when my mate, I was moaning that I think I was like 25. No, 24. I was like, I'm 24, and like, you know, and he was like, I'm 29, I'm nearly dead. It was just the way he said it, and it just, every time someone moans about their age and stuff, I just got his image of my mate Steve saying that. Like, he thinks that he's more closer to death than he was his birth. It's just like frightening. But hey ho, I digress.
Well, look, all people are 29.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so depressed now. I'm as old as WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, for the most part, I'm taking it fairly well. Better than I did last year.
Wow, what did you do last year?
I don't know. I was like, oh, man, I'm so old. I feel...
You're reaching midlife crisis, Smoot. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Just wait till you hit 30 and then you realise that it really is.
Shit really hits the fan, yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
But for the most part...
And then like, after a couple of days after you're 30, you think, it's okay. Like, you know, I'm not really, like, into my 30s really yet. And then, like, now I'm 32 and it's like, shit.
Yeah. But for the most part, I'm taking it on the chin here, so...
You're doing very well. You sound very upbeat, considering.
Yeah.
Will, how have you been for the last few weeks?
Good.
I'm going to say, had we done a show? Because your birthday wasn't that long ago? Or did we not do it?
The 19th. Yeah, we've done one since then.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. So we're not wishing you happy birthday? No. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Chucks, how about you? Oh, wait, he's not here.
Yes, we must also apologise. Chucks isn't here.
Chucks is no-showed.
Yeah, he might have died.
Chucks has done a Steve Austin from 2003.
Yeah,
he took his ball.
Went home. I like how you no-sold the fact that I just said, yeah, he might have died.
I did actually. Considering the fact that you keep making comments like I'm wishing people dead, and you're actually stating people
I didn't say.
dead.
Here's the difference. I didn't wish that Chucks was dead.
I didn't wish. You just twisted it to make it sound like I wish someone were dead. You did.
You were like, I want that guy from the Hype Bros to die.
No, I did not.
Yeah,
You even found the clip, and I did not say that.
No, you did.
I really didn't. Stop twisting this. I'm not even giving you a freebie on this because it's your birthday.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah, but I'm not giving you it for that. So, yeah, we must apologise. Chucks isn't here, but if he joins us anytime soon, we'll promptly join him into the chat and then throw him over the
No,
top.
he's banned now. No.
Yeah, you were like, I'm suspending him for 90 days.
Yeah. Sorry,
Even though you
Chucks,
do
you've
all
just
the all the charitable work for the show, and that you're black, you're suspended.
He's been tightest.
I was just going to say it's been Titus.
Yeah. Which we're going to get into this show here a little bit.
Titus or Chucks. Oh dear. So yes, we've got quite a lot of news to get through, obviously. We'll leave the prediction scores and things until Chucks returns.
Which I think is next week, which is the week before Fastlane, right?
Yeah, it'll work well as we go into our predictions.
Or the
for
go
the-
home
We've
Fastlane.
Just done the Rumble, haven't we, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll lump all that together.
Yeah. We'll let Chucks come back for 5 minutes before we kick him. So, yeah. So, yes, we have a lot of news this week. Obviously, we've got the Rumble. Do you want me to run through the headlines and just give a kind of outline of what we've had in the last couple of weeks and then just
sure.
talk about everything, or should we go
Sure.
subject by subject?
Sure.
Well, down.
Okay,
both.
so...
Whatever, both.
Okay. Yeah, it'll only take 30 seconds. Basically, the Royal Rumble happened 2 weeks ago, and Roman Reigns has lost his WWE Championship, and surprise, surprise, Triple H is now the WWE Heavyweight Champion. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that and the direction they're going into WrestleMania now. Other news, CM Punk has suffered a back injury and has had to have surgery, which has meant that his fight, which I believe was scheduled for UFC 199, has now been put on hold until further notice.
Yeah, Mickey Gall was his opponent.
Yeah, I believe the news is that he is still going to be facing him. It's just a delay in the fight, so
Right.
that will take place, but it's not going to be happening in the time frame that they originally planned. Sad news all round, really. We obviously, unless you've been living on the moon, we all know that Daniel Bryan has officially had to retire from professional wrestling. This is due to concussion issues that he's been having, so we'll obviously be talking about that. Relating to Daniel Bryan, when he gave his goodbye speech in Seattle on Raw last week, Titus O'Neil had an interaction with Vince McMahon, which has promptly brought him to be suspended from WWE for 90 days, which was then reduced to 60 days as WWE are trying to make an example out of him. We'll be discussing that one. And the other bit of news that I've got that's main is the unfortunate news that Bret Hart has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. And as of, I don't know if it was earlier today or yesterday, he has undergone...
Yesterday.
Yesterday, was it? He's undergone surgery, obviously, to deal with this. So he's obviously now on a long road to recovery. So, yeah, that's been an eventful couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Shall we start at the beginning with the Rumble?
Yeah, sure, a little bit, yeah. Why not?
Did we enjoy it, guys?
No.
Wow, okay.
I did.
What about you, Will?
I did, yeah. That was good.
I was kind of in between with it a little bit, really. I think it was a lot better than what it's been in the last couple of years.
Mm.
But there was an awful lot of element of it being predictable.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Triple H winning was sort of called about 3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
I think in the prediction game, some of us predicted Triple H to win.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we didn't want it to happen. I know I didn't want to see it happen.
Yeah.
But
I kind of didn't want to see it happen. Logically, it makes sense, and it's one of them things where if...
it makes sense, but at the same time, it really doesn't.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely. But I think it's one of them where if something's done well, even if it's predictable, it's not a bad thing because at least it's been done well and it makes sense. And for casual fans, still, you know what I mean, that's seen as a really successful event. But yeah, anytime that you have the boss or the person in charge that's the champion kind of thing, it's always going to be scrutinised for realism, I suppose. I found it interesting, and I thought they were quite clever in the way they actually booked the finish, where they made Triple H eliminate Roman before the end, rather than actually make him be the last man. I felt that was quite smartly booked to try and bring the crowd reaction round a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we kind of got a bit of an awkward situation, I would say, with Fastlane, because we all know that the plan is to have Roman Reigns and Triple H at WrestleMania. But how do you get there with this match? What do you guys think?
Is that the plan, do you think? I mean, I know that's the rumour, but...
Well, thinking even though it's predictable, it's the most logical thing that they've been going towards, I think, for a long time. I mean, God, I could already imagine the video package they'll be putting up at WrestleMania when, like, Roman Reigns was in the Shield and the first time he stepped up to Triple H, like, about 18 months ago, so they can say that the seeds have been planted there for such a long time.
God.
Smoot is not happy about this match.
No, I'm really not.
I'm going to be honest, it's one of them where I think it makes sense, but I kind of wish it didn't involve the championship.
Yeah.
Which I suppose they could still do it and take the championship away. Somehow. I don't know. They could do something before Mania, but then do you really want to go into WrestleMania where you're taking the title off Triple H without creating a different feud? Do you know what I mean?
I think Lesnar's involved for the title somewhere at Mania.
I'd see the worrying thing with me is obviously we had the situation where the Wyatts eliminated Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean that seems to be the obvious way to go down, where they're gonna cost them the match at Fastlane. But
I think that was the most disappointing thing with the Rumble to me was they went down the traditional route of starting to plant seeds for the WrestleMania matches. But to be honest, all the WrestleMania matches weren't ones that jumped out at me.
Yeah.
The one thing, I mean, I like the interaction with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and I've always thought that they will probably end up having a WrestleMania match, which I'd be quite happy for. But obviously that's like your good mid-card match that can steal the show, but it isn't the thing that you build the pay-per-view around.
Yeah.
Wyatt's and Lesnar's not something that I'm particularly interested in. We've said it numerous times on this show about how WWE have booked the Wyatts, and it all kind of went a bit wrong with the Cena booking from WrestleMania 30. And
yeah, and also as of late, they're possibly penciling in Brown Snowman against Brock Lesnar.
My mate Steve told me to tell you because he was in hysterics when we was watching the Rumble, and I called him Brown Snowman. It's in hysterics, and I had to explain that was you. But yeah, he appreciated that. He now cannot get that name out of his head.
Yes.
So it looks like it could be Snowman and Undertaker.
Well, I did read a report that cause the original plan was supposed to be Cena Taker, wasn't it?
Yes.
Apparently. I did see something on one of the more dirty of dirt sheets, shall we say.
Dirtier dirt sheets, I like it.
I'm not sure I like the idea of that.
There's a small chance that Cena might be ready for Mania.
Yeah, I wondered whether he was as bad as what they made out, or
whether
he's gonna eat kryptonite.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, I think if they were sure that Cena wasn't going to be there, I think we'd have seen Undertaker by now.
Yeah, I do get the impression that they're holding out as much as possible. And I think they've been doing that from the off, really, haven't they? I mean, you think, like, when they made the Rumble for the championship, it was to give them enough time to change things come WrestleMania if they needed to, in my opinion. And same again, we got tiptoes into the water kind of thing with the Rumble, with the way that they laid things, and everything could change come Fastlane or the Raw after Fastlane.
On the stream, I have a cartoon of from Botch Spot that's been sitting up there for about 5 minutes now, in regards to Triple H. and in his booking of himself. So, not to completely interrupt what you were saying. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Basically, it's Triple H convincing every one of his opponents that he defeated that it was a good idea for him to win.
Yeah.
And then Roman, I'm going to take the win on this one. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, dear. So, sorry, I forgot what I was saying. So yeah, I mean, like looking at the matches that we've got, they could go in completely different directions. But if we're looking at the way that they built it up, you're probably going to have Owens and Sami Zayn, probably. You're going to have Triple H and Roman Reigns. You're going to have Undertaker and Snowman. Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt, probably. And they're all matches that you just think, that's not WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And
it's really not.
No, and it is worrying. But, like I said, there is time between now and then. Obviously, we were all wondering what they were going to do with Daniel Bryan, and that's kind of gone horribly wrong, really. But
do you want to get
you try and think of dream matches that they can do. And do you know, I know I mentioned it and it was shot down, and there's this talk of getting Shawn Michaels involved in the Triple H and Roman Reigns match as like a referee or something, and it's just like, why? Because how on earth can WWE expect to put Roman Reigns over with the crowd if they take a babyface like Shawn Michaels and then team him with Triple H as his mate in a match where he's supposed to be the heel?
Yeah.
And then what? Shawn's going to do what he did to Daniel Bryan years ago, where he costs Roman the match and turns heel. Everyone's going to expect something again. Or do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me, that.
Yeah.
There's been talks of Shawn being in Triple H's corner and The Rock being in Roman's corner, which The Rock just needs to stay as far away from Roman Reigns as possible, I think, at this stage, just from what they've done before, because the second he comes out anywhere near him, you're going to get the same response. There's no way that you're going to avoid it. Not in my eyes, anyway.
Oh, man. Let me see if I can find up that one joke from WWE Creative-ish. Real quick.
It was just like the way he stood, like The Rock stood in the ring holding his arm up and then looking confused at everyone, like, why do you hate him? Why do you hate me?
Yeah.
It was just...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I can't understand WWE's booking of Roman Reigns. It's like how he was kind of alright with the Rumble situation. He just can't, like the night afterwards, nothing, he was like laughing and joking or whatever, and you're thinking, you just lost the championship that you said 2 weeks ago on Raw that was your family, that was your life. And it got took away from you. And then you were making some weird like joke of an excuse saying like, it was 29 other people or whatever. And you're thinking, hang on a minute, now you're making excuses.
Yeah.
Reigns should have done the Austin thing the night afterwards, and he should have attacked Triple H, or it should have gone absolutely loopy. I don't know. Hell, give him a 4x4 and let him drive into the bloody arena. That was one thing I wanted to ask you guys. Did any of you for a split second think that they announced on the Raw or the night afterwards and that fucking 4x4 pulled up?
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, I thought, that's fucking Austin. And then The Rock got out, I was like, you son of a bitch, what are you doing in a 4x4?
I did like how The Miz came off first, though. I've been away 3 weeks.
Do you know what? It's worrying how much I'm actually liking Miz now.
Which I have something about The Miz I want to get into a little bit later. But here's a tweet from back at the end of November where WWE Creative said, "Hey, The Rock, we'll promote your next movie if Roman Reigns wins tonight." And yeah, I'm good. By The Rock. And then The Rock replies to the joke saying, "Ha, that's fucked up. Funny as hell, but fucked up." So with you saying keep The Rock as far away from Roman Reigns as possible, I'm kind of agreeing with you on that.
I don't know, it's one of them where it's like, there's that many things where you look at it and you think none of it seems to be coming together. And I know that they've got a vast amount of injuries, and they're obviously holding out and praying people like Super Cena can make the full recovery.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you do need to do something, and whether it's with The Rock, you finally give him a direction and you get something announced earlier so you can start promoting it. But come the Raw the night after Fastlane, you should be able to name 4 major matches for Mania easily. Yeah. And I'm a bit worried at the minute whether that's going to be the case.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that the amount of injuries that have been racked up here lately is definitely playing an impact on the fact that we haven't had like a major WrestleMania match announced yet, you know?
Although, I think part of that, it might be down to, there was a story going around that they wanted to turn Fastlane into a major event.
Well, they've done a
that's
fantastic job at that so far.
But no, I could see something big maybe happening on the show itself.
Yeah.
Which will obviously take us...
Well, you think back to, like, you know, previous events, and like, you know, you're thinking of like when you had like the Sting scenario with Triple H, or you know, Triple H coming out and interrupting the Undertaker and things like. You think that there has to be some kind of interaction like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not Sting. That's a picture of Sting. Do I even have that audio? I better.
Oh god.
Oh come on, really?
But I can't. I know I mentioned it ages ago and it got shut down. But if they're going to be bringing people like Shawn Michaels and demanding for him to get involved, if you haven't got an opponent for the Undertaker, would you not seriously consider, at least just for the name value alone, to consider Shawn Michaels and Undertaker last time?
There's a name that we've not mentioned yet, and it's being talked about quite a lot at the moment. Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, but where would you put him?
Ryback.
Oh, God.
Yeah, who has taken up a Goldberg-like look lately.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, but I'm not being funny, but the level that Ryback's at the minute, Goldberg and Ryback is a squash match for Goldberg at this stage.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But...
No, but it is from the way that if you'd have done it when Ryback was first coming to WWE and he was doing his, you know, taking on 3 men and throwing them all out the ring and giving them all a move at the same time.
Yeah.
And you kept doing that all the way up to WrestleMania for 6 months. Then the match would have meant something because you think you probably might be beating Goldberg here just to kind of put him over. Now I'll be thinking there's no way that Goldberg would agree to lose to Ryback.
No, but it's a name, innit? And I imagine they'll probably do that if they can get him in.
Yeah, I mean, again, it is, but I don't think it's that big a deal anymore. I think it would be a good thing to have on the card, and it would be something that would be a bit of fun, and it would be a cool moment kind of thing, but
yeah.
It's not something that you'd build your pay-per-view upon.
Oh, no, you wouldn't build a show around it, no.
But I seriously think that, you know, something like Shawn Michaels is... If they're ever going to get a legend out to come out for one more match, I mean, the guy isn't going to be, you know, he's not going to unretire. He's just having one match, and that's going to, you know, it's going to be definitely the last one. No one's ever going to question Shawn for one more match like they are doing at the minute, if he has that one match with Undertaker again.
Yeah, I just can't see him doing it.
Well, to be honest, deep down, I don't think I can either, because I think he's going to stay by his word and retire. Yeah. I also think that he's always been the WWE guy, you know what I mean? And he's always done what they needed him to do.
Yeah.
And if they feel that it's that desperate, I think that if he was to, you know, if Vince was to ask the question and ask it long enough and hard enough, I think that Shawn would do it.
Yeah, this is the, by the way, the recent new look that Ryback is currently rocking with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely Goldberg-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could happen.
It could. I hope that.
Okay. Back to
It'd be like that. It'd be like that video when Goldberg came back in that baseball field. Was it last year? That time he just came out and just speared and gave him the jackhammer, and that was it. That's all that needs to happen with Ryback.
Oh man,
No offense to the guy, but you need to
that,
do something more with him if you're going to put him up against Goldberg.
If they actually did that with Goldberg to Ryback, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like 2 moves, boom, boom, done, out of their paycheck.
Yeah. I just got paid $3 million for that.
That's not too the same as his last appearance at WrestleMania.
yeah, definitely. Oh, what? Do you know, I was so looking forward to that match.
That's what they could do. Lesnar Goldberg too.
Oh, God. Holy
You know what
shit.
they always say? The sequels are worse than the originals.
Holy shit.
Can you imagine?
Let me tell you what that does not produce. Audio whoop-ass. Right there.
No buys!
No fucking buys whatsoever. God damn.
WWE have announced that Brock Lesnar will be taking on Goldberg at WrestleMania 32.
God.
Second news headline. WWE Network has had 400,000 people unsubscribe. Oh dear. So yeah, I don't think they'd be doing that. It'd be funny if they played off it though at some point.
I think if they didn't bill it as like the biggest WrestleMania ever, they might try to do that, but...
Do you know what I could see? So if they did bring Goldberg in, he would at least have to have something like where he walks down a corridor and walks into Brock.
Yeah.
And they just like have a look or a bit of a laugh or something, or a bit of a...
Tease it and then, have them both laugh.
Yeah, something like, how's that football career going?
Yeah.
Yeah, just something where people, casual fans won't get it at all or whatever. But, it'd just be a bit of a giggle.
Fuck the casual fans.
Fuck them.
That's the other thing, keeping them afloat. What are you on about? So, yeah, I just don't know now. It's one of those. It's just, there is not a lot of options on the table, I don't think, for older stars or people that you've dream matches that you thought of in the past. There's an awful lot of opportunity for younger people on the roster, but the trouble is that isn't necessarily name value. And if it had been any other WrestleMania, we probably all would have been going, "Oh, this is great! It's a chance for them to step up, and it's that it's that moment that they're going to crave, and this is a chance to put themselves on the map." The trouble is with this is the one where they need to break that attendance record. And there is a lot that needs to be done.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm saying that because I'm going to it.
Oh.
I have some news, guys.
Probably going to one of the worst WrestleManias of all time.
I have some news.
Did you get those tickets from Ticketmaster?
I have got some tickets for the show. So screw you, Ticketmaster.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm not sure whether they're great, though. I actually did get them from Ticketmaster because they did. They did like a vote. Basically, I had to set up notifications to send me a text message when the WrestleMania account tweeted when it was selling tickets, so that I knew that would be like a new allotment, and obviously they're promoting it.
Yeah.
And then last Saturday, a week ago, I got a message in the afternoon just after the City game, and it came up saying, I was like, oh, I bet there'll be a new lot. I had to do the same again, where I had to use a VPN thing to make me think that I'm American, just to have access to it. And then, when I released the tickets and tried to search for other options just to see if there was anything better, it kept coming up saying there was nothing. I had to close down the app completely and restart it just to be able to get access to it again. So Ticketmaster is completely screwed up.
Jesus Christ.
So I've now got tickets right next to the stage.
That could be good or bad.
Well, it's on the tier.
Probably bad because they don't turn on the Titantrons during matches anymore.
Well, no, there's a massive screen smoot that's like 200 foot long on the top that you can clearly see if I needed to look at a screen.
They'll probably not turn it on.
What?
They'll probably, like, honest to God, they'll probably just have, like, the match be the focal point of what's going on and not show, like, the people in the nosebleeds any of the up-close action that they're missing. Watch that happen.
Well, it won't matter, because, I mean, we got a clear view of the ring.
All right.
The thing is, it is similar to what we've had before, but it's right next to the stage, so it's like I worry that I'm like slightly behind the stage or side on where I won't be able to see much.
You could slap Ryback in the head when he walks by.
Possibly. when he walks by, I'll slap him on the head going, "Stupid!"
Stupid, yeah. Speaking of the Ryback, and that CM Punk story where Punk was getting back surgery. Did you see
he tweeted, didn't he?
Yeah. Did you see the tweet that he sent out?
I can't remember what it said fully, but I remember reading it and thinking, "Oh my god!"
We'll put it up on the screen here in just a sec. Here. Probably should have queued this up a little bit better.
It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, Ryback has no chill whatsoever.
I like Ryback.
Yeah, only because you met him.
Well, yeah.
Hold on. Oh, well.
Nice guy.
Fit the screen. There we go. Yeah, my bad. It was an accident. Quote, I'm dumb as fuck. End quote. Kiss emoji.
I don't laugh if you spelled it wrong.
But I like the... Well, no. I was going to say, I thought that person said punk, not puke there. I was like, oh, never mind. I'm just looking at the replies there, that's all. But yeah, that happened. So
yeah, that did happen. Which is kind of funny, but, you know.
There was a lot of
really,
backlash for Punk this week when that was announced.
Yeah.
I was just on Twitter. A lot of people basically calling him out and saying he's a bit of a joke and stuff. And
I think it's a bit unjust.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not his fault. He needs surgery, is it? But
he's probably fixing himself up from all the bumps he took over the years of being a pro wrestler. So I'm not faulting him at all. I think the timing of it is extremely inconvenient.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do what you got to do. Hopefully he'll get back on his feet soon and beat the shit out of whoever it is that he's going to beat the shit out of at UFC, whatever.
Especially in that sport, you need to be on 100%, don't you?
Yes.
To be.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, if anyone... I mean, it's always the same. If anyone's ever had a nagging injury or if they've not had proper time to prepare or whatever, they always pay the price for it in that environment, so...
So I don't... I mean, granted, yes, it is another setback, and people are getting a little bit impatient, but the dude's got to fix himself up if he really wants to make this into, like, a serious career.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that it's been 2 years since Punk's been in WWE.
Yeah.
It's insane to me, that.
I'm sure there's people out there still thinking, like, what if he shows up at WrestleMania?
Oh, God. Do you know what's really weird? I remember when we went to the first one. It was when I went to my first Mania, and it was WrestleMania 22. I don't know if you remember, but they had all the banners with all the wrestlers.
Yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
And I was looking round, and obviously they had Hulk Hogan and Steve Austin, and I still on that day of the actual WrestleMania 22 was thinking, what if Austin and Hogan happens at this event? You know, like complete naivety, as if something that massive would ever just like occur on the actual card, like there and then. I was so confused because Hogan had made the challenge publicly on a Raw, and it just never happened. And you thought, well, it's happened on TV; it's got to happen now.
Hogan's another one that's kind of floating under the radar that people are rumbling about.
Let's hope that radar acts as a bin lid and stays on top of it.
Yeah, there's some talk about he might end up back in
facing an injured Cena.
I don't know who he would face, but man,
The Undertaker.
The Grim Reaper, maybe.
No, I said The Undertaker.
Oh, close enough. He's best suitable Grim Reaper he could get, but I don't know if bringing Hogan back for WrestleMania 32 would be a wise choice. Coming off of the racial tirade. So
No.
No, I think he'd have to.
No. I'm just
No.
throwing that question.
I think
out there.
Hogan would need to be back involved on TV or something way before it, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean, just to kind of make
Yeah.
it feel normal again.
Yeah.
Before you would put him on like a WrestleMania in some capacity, because if you just bring him out, it's just going to create controversy straight away,
Yeah.
which they might want. I don't know.
What if Hulk Hogan gets Titus O'Neil unsuspended? Would that right the wrong that he made?
I'm trying to think on like I was in Hogan mode then when I was trying to think on how he might accomplish this.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. I'm not a racist, and
I'm going to speak to my pals in Metallica.
I managed to
I don't know why I'm doing it in a Vince voice.
Yeah. Vince as Hulk Hogan trying to get Titus O'Neil unsuspended.
That's the real road to WrestleMania, isn't it?
Yeah, that very well may be. But yeah,
It
that's
is in Hogan's mind.
Yeah, that. Should we get to the Daniel Bryan news? So
Yeah,
we can get to the Titus O'Neil part.
Yes.
As well.
News started on Monday earlier on in the day when pictures was taken of Daniel Bryan at the airport, where he was sporting a new haircut and a trim beard, and everyone was getting excited. And then he released a tweet that said with immediate effect he was going to have to retire from professional wrestling, and he was going to be making an appearance on Raw to explain.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say on this? It's just terrible, really. But, everyone started to wonder whether it was a work, but the more it went on and the more it built towards the event, it was one of them where you started to realise this doesn't look like it's going to be any kind of work. And then, obviously, as soon as Raw started, I'm not being funny, it was like, it's the same kind of thing like when someone passes away kind of thing, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And it felt that bad, and it's, you know what I mean, it sounds awful, but it's just like, it's horrifying for him.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't die, but, I mean, there was that little bit of a story arc where he originally wanted to quit WWE and go to like CMLL or back to Ring of Honor, maybe I think was the other promotion, and Vince stopped him from doing that.
Yeah.
And in doing so, probably saved his life.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, this is the sad thing. I mean, alleged reports came out afterwards to say that he's actually been suffering from post-concussion seizures.
Yeah.
And this wasn't something that was aware.
Yeah, he said that himself on the ESPN interview.
Did he? I hadn't seen it. So, I mean, that, you know what I mean? It's awful that, this, like he said in his speech on Raw, this is everything he's ever known, and obviously he's tried everything that he possibly can to make sure that he didn't have to end it.
Yeah.
But sadly, in some ways, obviously, it's very sad, and it's cruel that someone that is still could, if you think in professional wrestling, you could easily go to the age of 44, 45 if you're in good condition and you can still have a good career. So he could have potentially still been in WWE as an active competitor for the next 10 years if he was healthy. And it just sucks. But, I mean, it's the silver lining of it is this was obviously a bigger issue than everyone originally thought. I mean, for months have been, people have been going on saying, oh, he's been cleared and he should be able to come back. And we've all done that because that was the information that was out there at the time.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, obviously we all care about him as a person and want to make sure that he's okay. So it kind of made it a little bit easier just thinking, well, at least you know that he's not endangering himself. Whereas if he did come back, then it could have really been a serious issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, incredibly sad.
I still hate Dr. Maroon. I still wouldn't trust him with anything. But
You've just put on the stream there the picture of him backstage. Do you know if this picture was taken before or after he came out?
Looking at the caption, Bryan Danielson, Brie Bella prepare for the Yes Man's final address to the WWE.
Oh, right.
So probably before, but man, that's a powerful photo.
It really is, and it's heartbreaking to look at it because that's a crushed person, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just, and I mean, what can you say? I mean,
one grateful guy.
Yeah. I mean, Laura's not massive on wrestling and that, but she's come along when we've gone over to the States and things, and she was there for the Miami event when obviously all the Yes stuff happened with the Sheamus match, and then she was there for 30, and she was completely in bits for it, and that's just because of the connection that he had with people.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, you know, it's like that Austin thing, innit? Everyone loved Austin because it was like, you know, everyone could relate to it because it was always against the boss kind of thing, and it was that rebellious nature.
Yeah.
And Bryan was the same thing. He was the underdog, but it wasn't the Rey Mysterio, he's an underdog because he's small kind of thing. It was just you could relate to Bryan because it was just that same instant. You felt it was the same thing. He was doing everything right and wasn't getting the opportunities that he deserved, and people could relate to that. And that story going into WrestleMania 30, granted, it probably never would have happened if it wasn't for a certain individual leaving WWE. But in the end, it was one of the most powerful stories I've ever done. And the only saving grace in all this is that at least he got that. Because I think it would have been even more horrific if he didn't have that moment.
Yeah.
And it didn't really go right from that point on, which is quite sad, really. But at least he did have that moment.
If if he actually did get back in the ring, I mean, he probably would have been doing severe damage to him, to his health.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of them as well, where it's not just literally the immediate future. It is later on in his life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of long-term damage that could do to him. That's it. Whenever you feel sad or upset or frustrated that you're not going to see him in the ring again, you do just kind of have to sit back and think about this as a person, you know. So yeah, it's very sad. Obviously, we're going to miss him in the ring, but the main thing is his health, and what a send-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think full credit to WWE. I know there's been a lot of stick with it in the last 12 months and the way that they've handled Daniel Bryan and things, but the way that episode of Raw was, you know, that was a pretty special moment for him.
I thought Vince, there's obviously it's long been said, Vince doesn't like him, he's too small and all that, and you could just tell by the look on Vince's face on Raw, he was upset.
Yeah.
He didn't, you could tell.
Well, I mean, from a business aspect, Bryan brought in a lot of money. Like, I think.
Yeah, but I think he was just upset, and he was generally upset for him. So.
Both at business and at a human level, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know the one thing that got me as well, which was quite thingy, was Cole?
Yeah, he said.
He said, "Love you, kid."
Yeah.
And it was just like, Michael Cole. This man frustrates me so much because it's like he can go from like when he was doing all the heel stuff, and it was so irritating, and it took away from so much of the product. And then obviously with the terrible moment with Lawler, with the heart attack on Raw, and the way he dealt with it and the way he was, you realise that obviously this guy's a good guy kind of thing. And slowly you just feel like he's turned into the WWE robot. And then something like that again, you're thinking, oh God, obviously this guy is really a good guy.
Yeah.
But he's pigeonholed into this position where it just gets you frustrated with him. And it's
if you think back, Cole played a big part in Bryan's first sort of time in WWE.
Yeah. And
the old NXT and stuff, and the shit NXT as we call it.
Speaking of people who are good, Titus O'Neil, where at the end of Monday Night Raw here, so you set this in motion, apparently tugged on Vince McMahon's arm here at the end, and the next day was suspended for 90 days, now reduced to 60 days, for that little incident, and was, quote, made an example out of.
Now, I'm not...
He's apparently said that he was trying to let Stephanie go first, wasn't he?
Yeah, ladies first or something like that.
Yeah.
Right, well,
but
yeah.
I mean, this was like the network bonus content.
It's also worth pointing out, by the way, that I watched this on Tuesday, because I didn't see Raw live, and they've actually cut this bit off the network.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I watched it on the Tuesday, but I must have watched it early enough because I remember seeing it and I kept thinking, what was that?
Yeah, they cut it off just as
I saw it
Bryan.
I saw it live on Monday, and I was like, "Oh, what the heck happened there?" But never thought much of it, you know?
Yeah.
But I didn't. I thought it might have been just a playful thing or something. I didn't, because it was that quick and that such a small thing. You didn't know what or what. I mean, it even looks like on the footage. I mean, you're playing a GIF now on the stream. It looks like Triple H behind smiling at Vince as if he's having a laugh with it as well.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that split second when the camera goes off and Vince turns around.
Yeah, just to see his expression.
See what his face is.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not quite sure what's going on there, because it's like, obviously it's not really the time for having,
Yeah, like read the room, Titus.
you know,
Come on.
a jokey moment kind of thing. Yeah, but also Titus may have thought that he knows that this isn't on TV now. The cameras have gone off. This is like just for the crowd kind of thing. So it's a bit more playful or whatever. Like it's, you know, like that house show mentality where they obviously do what they want kind of thing. But again, that could be, like you were saying, Vince being quite emotional in the moment and upset for Daniel, and then all of a sudden he's in an environment where he thinks someone was not being respectful, and that's the way it's come down. But I don't know, it just seems like something that's completely got out of hand, and the main thing is that wasn't what all that moment was for, you know. It's like...
Did anyone find it weird though, because he's had this sort of mini push lately, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he got beat by Adam Rose
Yeah.
on the same night. That came a bit out of nowhere, I thought.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I did think that they were possibly starting to utilise him in some way. And the weird thing is as well, it's like I said, I mean, people compare Titus with John Cena out of the ring just because he does so much charity work for the company. And it's just one of those things, again, where it falls at the worst possible time because, you know, there's all this talk about, you know, the Black History Month, and, you know, everyone instantly brings the racism into it because Titus is black, and it's absolutely snowballed into something that just didn't need to happen. And I don't know, I take it with a pinch of salt kind of thing, but I mean, I don't know, it's a weird situation.
There's something going on that we don't know, definitely. I think.
Yeah.
What we saw in that clip is just possibly the tip of the iceberg.
Well, I read, and I don't know how accurate it is, but I read a report saying that obviously I think Vince wasn't very happy with the company in general, as in the talent, about professionalism. Yeah. And I don't know if that relates to people not wearing right attires or not looking professional or not acting in the right way, or there's a bit too much of a jokey mood kind of thing.
But apparently Titus is one of the ones that is always sticking to the rules. He does turn up in the dress code.
That's what I mean, but every time you do see Titus, he is always wearing a three-piece suit. He is always prim and proper. And again, if the rumour was that he thought that Stephanie should go first, then that's a professionalism manners thing where he's...
Well, exactly, yeah.
So, I don't know. I do think there's definitely a bit more to it than what we're seeing.
Just a second.
I just found it that, I know it's nothing to do with what actually happened, but say he's been on this bit of a push, and the next minute he's losing to Adam Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold
Just
on.
thought that was a bit odd.
Hold on just a sec. I'm going to restart the stream because something wonky is happening here where it's not regaining the frames here. One sec.
We got a wonky stream.
We got a wonky stream. One moment here. All right. Hopefully we're back.
That sounds
The
better.
stream being better. Okay, there we go. Something with the GIF sent the stream all out of whack there. I don't know what happened.
Fucking gifts.
You get.
Sorry about that, but yeah. Oh, no, it's still doing it. Huh.
So yeah, I mean, oh.
Weird.
Yeah, you just went a bit funny sounding on my end.
Did I? Oh.
Yeah, it's a bit muffled.
Muffled.
Oh well. Muffled.
Oh, man.
Come on, Smoot, sort it out. You're going to get suspended for 90 days.
Yeah.
On your birthday as well.
Yeah.
I know. I don't give a damn.
We were doing so well, too. Like, I don't get it.
Don't touch my arm.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It says stream is green on my side, but I don't know. I don't know what it's saying on your end.
It's like dropping... Oh, now it's fine. Now it's fine. All right, there we go, I think.
Oh.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you, Will, that there is something going on here that we don't know. Let me see if I could try to pull up a screenshot that I saw really quickly here. Sorry, this is dead air. You're hearing at the moment. I apologize.
No, it's...
Come on.
But I think when you think of like we've been saying about the situation with Daniel Bryan, like, you know, how long has it been going on that WWE's not been acting properly and they've been holding him back when they shouldn't be?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been more stuff going on that we haven't been aware of. So WWE's been getting that bad press for that long, and obviously there's something going on in this situation as well, and I don't think we're aware of all the facts in this either.
Because OSW Review on Twitter pointed this out here, if I can get things situated here.
Oh, it's gone red on the stream elf again on my end.
There we go.
I don't know. Have you put it on the stream?
Yeah, I just put it on the stream now. Oh, well, hold on. That's Photoshop stuff. There we go. Close that out.
Just sitting there, that's good.
Yeah. Make sure it's live.
Was Titus wearing a Seahawks jersey?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Do you know, honestly, when I looked at that, because it's such a small image on my end, I thought that was Apollo Crews. That doesn't look like Titus O'Neil to me there.
Here,
It's really weird.
Let me blow it up a bit.
I think it's because the shadow of his chin makes it look like a beard from a distance, and I don't know.
There's a story just gone on, well, no, it's just gone on, but today it's gone on the New York Post website.
Yeah?
Basically where they acknowledge the whole thing going on, and they've mentioned a couple of tweets where people accuse Vince of being racist. And then apparently WWE have sent them a text message that they got from Titus O'Neil.
Really?
Which he says, I feel like shit now, so if you have to let me go, I understand. Stupid mistake.
Huh.
Right.
That's apparently what...
I was going to say, it's one of them things where it's got a little bit of out of hand, and I think it could be dealt with if WWE just actually properly explained it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it would save them a lot of face, because we know that obviously there's something else going on, and they've obviously acted this way for a reason. And I'm not going to sit there and believe that it's because of racism, you know what I mean? It's like, there's got to be a reason why that's happened. And if, like you say, if there's a message there from Titus where he's apologising, saying he's made a stupid mistake, then there's obviously something there. You know what I mean? I don't believe that he would be bullied into making a comment like that if he didn't feel that way. So
it says WWE later blasted the racism allegations, claiming O'Neill's punishment had nothing to do with the colour of his skin. The suspension of Titus O'Neill had nothing to do with race and everything to do with his unprofessional conduct, they said in a statement.
Well, that's what I mean, but they should just elaborate a little bit on that, because that could be just seen as sweeping it under the carpet to me.
Which it probably is.
I just think it doesn't help them. And I know that they probably don't care. But, you know what I mean? It's just like, you can avoid, opinions. It could all be cleared up. And, it's just... It's the same with the Daniel Bryan thing. If WWE had been a little bit more open about it, instead of making it look like they were just holding him back for reasons that they didn't want him back, which is obviously not the case now. It's about his safety and it's about the person, and that came across on.
It goes back to the Punk podcast where WWE has just like a shit way of communicating to people and talent.
Yeah. It does look like there is an issue in that area, doesn't it? I mean, and sadly, it happens across companies in general. I mean, we all come across it in work and businesses that we deal with where we think that communication there has been poor. So I just think it's something that does need to be looked at, really. Just because it could save an awful lot of hassle and a lot of bad press that they get, which they might not deserve. But I don't know.
I also like how.
I
also like how WrestleChat.net sent out a tweet saying, "Big Dave, please at Big Dave Batista here, or at Dave Batista rather, please make a call to Stanford and do something about this straight bullshit treatment of Titus O'Neil." And Dave Batista, being a cool guy, sent a tweet back saying, "I did something better. I called Titus O'Neil and told him to ask to be released."
Is that what that text was?
Apparently.
Might have been.
I understand if you need to let me go.
And I believe MVP, I don't have it queued up here, but MVP even said that there's life after the E. So, I don't know. Makes you wonder.
I don't know, though.
You see what I mean? But things like that are just escalating it to make it look like there is an issue of racism and things like that there, when there's obviously a reason for it. And I just think that you don't have to disclose everything. But if they did turn around and said that there was unprofessional behaviour on the stage in the closing of Raw and the situation or something, you'd be thinking, well, it's definitely that. If they turn around and said there's been issues of unprofessional behaviour and he's breached this numerous times, like a warning system or something, then you know what I mean? You just feel like there's a bit more to it, and you'd be thinking, well, there you go, kind of thing. It would be seen less as just making stuff up to cover up a real reason, kind of thing.
In all fairness to him, though, I can't really see Titus making it outside of WWE. He's barely made it in WWE. So.
He's one of them guys.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think given time, he might do, but I don't think he has yet.
At this stage, I know what you mean. So that's unfortunately the situation with Titus. So he won't be. I mean, he's going to miss WrestleMania now because of that.
Yeah, well, I think there's even talk. I think Justin LeBar said that there's possible that the 60 days might get reduced.
Yeah. To be honest, and this isn't a knock on him again, like we were saying, if he's going to be involved, it's probably going to be the Battle Royal.
The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
Yeah, that's where you would see Titus if he was on the card, if you know what I mean, at this stage, because apart from a rivalry with with Stardust that we've seen like 16,000 matches, then what else is this? So I think if they're getting him back from suspension, he's probably just going to be appearing on. He doesn't need to get any build-up or anything. He must probably just come out at Mania and be part of it.
What you were saying then, though, about a statement, I think that possibly has something to do with they've been in Europe, haven't they, this week?
Yeah.
So I think maybe if they get back wherever they are for Raw on Monday, you might get some news on that. I think.
Yeah, it's just a shit thing to do to just do at the wrong time. I feel at the wrong guy as well, because he didn't mean anything bad by it. He was just playing with Vince. Granted, like I said, Titus should have been reading the room better, but you know.
Yeah. It's just one of them. It's it's a small mistake that's completely escalated into something it just didn't need to be, and it's a shame. And the sad thing is that it's happened to a guy that it's hurt. If you know what I mean, it's
It wouldn't surprise me if they get to Raw on Monday. They have to talk about it. They reinstate him, and this is some sort of storyline by the end of next week.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but if they want to, they could use it in a way where you could, it could do something for Titus in a weird way.
The Dudleys are trying to do shit off of the Daniel Bryan retirement angle, or not, I shouldn't say angle, pardon me, the retirement situation.
Why? What did they do?
Well, I'm sorry, this is a spoiler for you, Beans, but
crying out loud!
On SmackDown,
I've not seen an episode of SmackDown since it started with more than an hour without you ruining it for me.
But on SmackDown, they were like, the Dudleys came out and they were like, we're sick and tired of hearing you about Daniel Bryan, yada yada yada, and all this shit, and now they're like anti-tables. Which, way to make the New Day and their Save the Tables campaign, like, justified now. Way to go. Way to not think this through. Way to do, like, character assassination on yourselves.
I honestly don't think they know what to do with the New Day, I think they're stuck. They're trying to get people to boo them, and they're just not happening.
That's the thing. Don't get people to boo them. Let them just do their thing. It's obviously working. They're getting a reaction. Just let people do, whatever they want to do with them.
Yeah, it's one of them situations where you've had Cena, who is quote unquote the face, but he comes across to the crowd like a heel. You've got a bunch of heels in the New Day who are technically heels, but they're not getting that reaction. Yeah. Why is it Cena can go through it? Why, you know what I mean? Why would WWE feel the need to change New Day's situation?
Yeah.
And even if it does, if it organically turns into them being face and they start acting like a face, then fair enough. You know what I mean? It can still work that way.
Which, I mean, I don't have
they just have to adapt it, but...
I don't have the problem with the Dudleys being heel. It's just it's dumb. Like, oh, we're not going to use tables now just to get you, the crowd, to boo us. Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure why they've gone the heel route with the Dudleys.
Just beat up the Usos.
I still think that at Mania there's going to be some kind of big, like, ladder tag team match or something, or TLC match.
Maybe. The third Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
The second now, I guess, because there's only one belt.
We'll see. So, I suppose the other news that we haven't really gone into much depth, but there's not really much at this stage to talk about, but obviously the sad news with Bret Hart.
Yes. Yeah.
So he announced on Instagram that he was battling prostate cancer, and like we mentioned before, he's had surgery yesterday, which he put another post up where it showed his family around the bedside, and he looked quite well considering he'd just had surgery.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously fingers crossed, and hopefully everything will be okay. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's one of them moments. It's one of those times at the moment where, some bad news going around.
Mm-hmm.
One quick question I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think there is a possibility now that they put Daniel Bryan into the Hall of Fame this year?
This year?
I think it's a bit close.
Too early, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think they want to keep Sting as the headliner. So with that in mind, I'm going to say no. but he's definitely probably going to go in next year.
Yeah, I do think it'd be quite soon.
No doubt about it. Unless they want to do like a double like headliner sort of thing this year, he's definitely going in next year.
I'm just thinking, like, you know, if it's like in a situation like I'm thinking from the point of view of Laura, like her big thing was that she was praying that Daniel Bryan was going to come back because she's a casual fan, but she really loves Daniel Bryan, and obviously she was heartbroken because of obviously his situation, but also now looking forward, she's like, great, he's not going to be there now.
Shot of Bret Hart recovering, by the way.
Oh yeah, there's the picture where he looks quite good there, I think, considering the circumstances. So yeah, it's good to see.
Didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So yeah, I just wondered, in WWE's eyes, even though it is very soon, whether it would have been a boost for something for that weekend, if you know what I mean. Where if you are missing a lot of talent at the minute because of injury, and Mania's not got big name stars to the card, at least if you've got Daniel Bryan as like one of the inductees for the Hall of Fame, then that's a big moment for the weekend as well.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I just think it's too early.
Yeah. Well, that's fair dues. I would like to see it, because obviously I'd like to be there for that. But yeah, that's just me being selfish, sorry.
What do you think is next for him then?
I honestly think he will get involved in coaching at NXT.
I was going to say, I think NXT would be ideal for him, I think.
I've heard that, but I've heard he had to be in like a peak physical condition or something like that in order to be at NXT as like a trainer.
Probably, but I think they'll find a way of getting him.
I'm going to say there'll be ways around it where even if it's working with other people, I mean, if he's getting people to do examples of things in the ring and he can't physically do it, there's, he can still do that kind of role, but someone else does the physical side of it. It's what's in his head that they'll want him to, get into people. But yeah, it's one of them, I think, as well, at the moment, where obviously Bree's still on the road. I think he'd be quite interested in possibly sticking around with it, being involved with it a little bit more at the moment, just because obviously she's on the road, he can still be with her kind of thing. It depends on whether he would feel comfortable with that situation, I think, because of obviously what's happened. I mean, it might be too difficult for him at the moment, but it wouldn't surprise me whether he's possibly still got some role on TV in some ways at some point, even if it's just a small thing or it's some kind of terrible general manager thing or something. But do you know what I mean? It depends on how he feels about the business, and if he wants to still be involved in it, I believe that they'll do something to make sure that he's still involved in it. But that's obviously down to him. I mean, if you think like after WrestleMania, like Triple H obviously isn't going to be doing anything post WrestleMania. So, what if there's some stipulation put in place where, if Roman beats him, he wins the title, but it also takes the authority out of power or whatever, then you could have something post WrestleMania where they make Daniel Bryan the general manager for a few months or something like that. If he wants to get involved that way, I could see him doing something like that. So at least he's still involved, but obviously he just can't do that physical aspect anymore.
Okay.
I wonder if he'd get involved in like commentary or something.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool. I'd like to hear him talking about wrestling a bear again.
Oh, that was amazing.
Oh god. I couldn't help but giggle when they were doing the videos of him and Kane.
Yeah.
On that Raw. And Dr. Shelby.
He posted a video, didn't he?
He did, yeah. I've not seen it, actually. It's supposed to be really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it's obviously it's silent and stuff, I don't think it's the last we've seen of him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you'll never hear of him again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I did wonder that picture that you put up before, Smoot, of him, because when he went up the ramp, I was expecting him to do a bit more interaction with people on the stage, and he didn't. He just kind of bolted to the back, and I did wonder whether it was a bit too much for him, and that was why I wondered whether that picture was taken like after the show.
I thought it was like after, not before.
Yeah, because that was heartbreaking as well. Because you thought if that was, if he really was struggling and he went through, went through that stage at the back, and then that was a picture afterwards, you thought that is just heartbreaking for him. But yeah. It's a bit of a sad time, and it's one of them where it sounds awful, but it couldn't have happened at a worse time business wise for WWE. But it's also, I mean, that's looking at it from a pure business standpoint, and also Daniel Bryan obviously had the mindset of getting into comeback for WrestleMania. That was obviously his goal, where obviously he mentioned a week ago was when the tests and things took place. Obviously he was pushing to try and get back involved for this time period. So it hurt WWE business, in a business sense, but obviously that's nothing in comparison to the personal aspect.
Business will pick up at Mania when they have that Lesnar Goldberg match.
They have the Goldberg and Ryberg. Ryberg? Oh my god.
Triple threat? Goldberg, Lesnar, Ryback.
Screw it. Put Austin in there. Let's find everyone that's bald.
Baldy's Brawl, yeah.
4-way Baldy Brawl.
Love it.
Just get Lesnar to shave that Lego brick off top of his head. That was one other thing, just quickly before we start wrapping things up. The Rumble. Was anyone else a bit frustrated with the way Lesnar reacted to being eliminated?
Not frustrated, just disappointed.
Can't really remember what happened.
He just got up and just walked out, but just looked back at him. You think, hang on a minute.
Yeah, I was
This is the guy that murdered Michael Cole after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was disappointed that he got eliminated, not the fact that he was hawking up and spitting everywhere and snotting all over the place after he got tossed out.
I was kind of annoyed that they screwed up AJ Styles' entrance.
Yeah, they did.
Just kept them on the close-up of Ranger's face.
Yeah. What do you think to AJ's music?
I hate it.
Yeah, I'm not keen.
Yeah, I'm a bit kind of... I can't put my finger on it.
I'm surprised how much of a chance they're giving him already. It seems to be giving him a fair crack of the whip. So, it'd be,
I think it's one of them things where, I mean, the guy's, he's 39 this year.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of giving it the benefit of the doubt. I think the business mindset again. I think they're getting the best out of him while they can, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's not been in any pay-per-view match yet, apart from the Rumble. So it'll be interesting to see whether WWE actually push him to victories in big matches, or whether he's going to be used to put other people over. Or
I'm quite enjoying this sort of mini feud he's having with Jericho.
Yeah, it's that interesting mid-card kind of entertainment. It's not all... I mean, that's been one of the main issues with programming, hasn't it? Raw's 3 hours long, and the only thing you're interested in normally is what Brock Lesnar's either going to do at the start of the show or the very end of the show. So it's to have something that's a bit more, a bit more meat in it in the middle. And then obviously you've got the scenario of what's happening with Ambrose, and, are they going to be contemplating some kind of heel turn somewhere, or is that going to be Reigns, or...
Yeah, who's going to turn on who, do you think?
I think logically it has to be Ambrose that turns.
Yeah, I could see it going the other way, though.
But I think it's one of them where it's typical, again, fans naturally get behind someone and then WWE turn them, and it's not Cena. It's just So, who would you put money on Undertaker facing at WrestleMania? If
nobody.
It is not John Cena.
Nobody.
And not Brown Snowman.
Nobody.
You really think that they're going to miss Undertaker?
For right now, yeah. Unless you can name somebody better than fucking Cena or Brown Snowman.
Surely, Smoot, not in your right mind would you tell Undertaker to sit down at WrestleMania?
I think Undertaker
not be involved.
I think Undertaker in the right mind would tell Vince to like sit down.
Sit down, Vince. You're getting old.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I know what you mean. Undertaker wouldn't feel right being on the show, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm not getting beat up by this, green guy to a weak card at WrestleMania or something like that.
Yeah, but you can't miss him off the show. I mean, come on, we're talking about...
It is in Texas.
The biggest... Yeah, you're talking about his hometown, or his home state. You're talking about the biggest WrestleMania that they've ever tried to put on. And they're already struggling because they've got no talent, or no big talent that they've relied on in the last few years to be on the show. So the one talent that is big that you need... Surely you wouldn't be telling him that he's going to miss the show because he ain't got anyone to play him up against.
Yeah, he'll be there in some form or fashion.
What about you, Will? Who would you put him up against if it weren't them two?
Don't know, it is a tough one. I know where Smith's coming from. There isn't a lot of options.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. Would you find someone young up and coming to put them up against, or would you be looking at someone you could call back to try and bring in, to try and do like a marquee match somehow?
No, I'd probably say someone youngish, or someone...
Because there has been the rumours of like Kevin Owens and that, haven't there?
I was going to say someone like Kevin Owens maybe, yeah.
And I think it's one of them where it possibly doesn't sound like the most amazing thing on paper, but I think someone like Owens is quite a smart choice because, when you get to like the promo side of it, things are going to be interesting.
Well, speaking on that kind of front, Wade Barrett I think will be quite good.
I think the trouble is with Wade, cause especially with him having the injuries recently and him not being able to do much.
Yeah, he's another one that's been having like neck issues, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Although they seem to be sort of, I don't know what the word to use is, but they seem to be still sort of putting some faith in him by having him on the show and stuff. They could just easily not have him there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is they do have a bit... I mean, it doesn't feel... In the grand scheme of things, it isn't that far off WrestleMania now. But, if you do smart booking between now and then, you can build someone up to make something interesting.
Mm.
So, yeah, we'll just have to see. There's lots of possibilities. And they've been smart in the way that they've booked it so that they've given themselves some possibilities. So, let's hope it all kind of works out in the end. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers the main topics. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else, guys, you want to mention?
I wanted to mention some TNA stuff, but I'll save it for next week, and we can play the game then.
Quick check. Is it still in business?
We can do a quick check.
That's okay. You don't have to fire up the machine. It's okay.
Is it still in business? That's my poor attempt at a drum roll. Yes! Yes, it is. Ta-da.
Oh, is that a drum roll? I thought you was hitting the machine that tells you.
Sorry.
I was going to say, it's been out of use for 3 weeks.
I'll have to tune it up next week.
There we go. The
Ta-da!
wonderful segment will return. Oh, there it is!
Yeah, it's still in business.
There it is. So we'll be checking in on that next week.
Yep.
So yes, next week obviously a bit of a packed show. We'll have Chuck's back hopefully.
Yep.
He'll be going through just to give us an update on the prediction scores for the Rumble, which I think went very badly for me, but I can't remember. That's not good.
Yeah.
We'll be doing predictions on Fastlane, and I'm sure we'll be all talking more about WrestleMania.
And TNA.
And Smoot will be giving us an update on TNA.
Yeah.
Which will probably wind me up. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to follow the show. It is on Twitter at the IWC Radio. You can check out our website www.iwcradio.com, and don't forget, if you tweet us, send us in some questions. You can use the hashtag IWC Radio. Until then, thank you for listening. We shall see you next week.
All right. See ya. I don't actually have a sound clip to go out to. It's just me going, bye. Bye, everybody.
You and your buys.